Good morning. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Tea Talk Live at 6:45. It's me, Miss Ruby. I'm going to wait for a couple of people to get on. I didn't make an announcement today about today's episode just because I got overwhelmed with everything else. Eventually, this is going to be something that I regularly announce, promote, and all of that good stuff. Good morning. Good morning to everybody who's here. Oh, my camera is a little crooked. Welcome to Tea Talk Live at 6:45 with me, Miss Ruby. As you guys can see, the title says, "Are you forcing your relationship?" And I want to talk about that in just a minute. I'm just giving a couple more people an opportunity to get on. I'm only going to be with you guys for about 15 to 20 minutes because I do have a baby, and she usually wakes up between 7 and 7:30, and we just don't know how gracious she's going to be today. But what's in your cup? Today I'm drinking green tea because number one, green tea has antioxidants in it that are very good for us. Hi, good morning, Naomi. So your girl likes to be healthy. But number two, I got 6 hours of sleep last night. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sleepy for this first portion of the day. So I like to get a little bit of caffeine in my system. Um, by the way, for the last 2 days, I've been eating primarily plant-based, or I would say vegan. And y'all, just in 2 days of cutting meat and almost all animal products out of my diet, I already feel better. Like, I already have more energy. It's crazy. I've been wanting to get my energy back because I've been really, really struggling for a long time with having energy to just approach the day. So I'm super happy that that's going on. Um, Welcome to Tea Talk Live at 6:45. It's me, Miss Ruby, and today's topic is, are you forcing your relationship? Comment and let me know your thoughts on the topic. And I'm just going to dive right in. This is something that I have, I've talked to about, with different clients and friends. Sometimes people will ask, is it too soon to do X, Y, and Z? How do you know, or how did you know he's the one? Yes, you're forcing your relationship. Tawana Brooklyn, good morning. Why do you say yes, you're forcing your relationship? Let me know. Um, and sometimes you just observe from the outside and you see somebody in a relationship and you know that they are definitely like forcing it. And I think sometimes it shows up in a scenario where it's like boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and you look at your title, you look at your position, you look at what you got going on in life, and you think that you're supposed to be partnered up with someone who's like that. Good morning, Marshall. Morning. You're so nice. You think like, I have these accolades, I have these accomplishments, that I need to be paired up with somebody who's on my level, right? And then you try to be with somebody who's like that, and you get these feelings, right? These unsettling feelings that like this isn't working, or like this is like, what is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so you start to ask yourself, like, ask yourself, like, am I forcing this? And so I wanted to like address, because I have to initiate most times from phone calls and seeing each other and making time. So Twana, are you what stage of your relationship are you in? And I've been doing it for 13 years. Ooh, child, I was just about to ask. A relationship is not by force, Naomi. You're so right. 13 years. Okay, it's interesting. And thank you for sharing that, Twana, because not every woman is just going to out and be honest about something like that. A lot of times we are in that position as women. We are, I think, a lot of times, even like in marriage, like myself, we are in that position where we definitely feel like we're taking on all of the responsibility of making a relationship out of our relationship. You know what I'm saying? Dang, I'm sorry. If you're pissed, I think that's a strong indication. Are you married? Because when you're married, it makes things a little bit more complicated. But let me know if you're married, Twana. No. Okay. Um, So why do you feel like you're forcing it? I mean, I know you just told me what you do, but in some scenarios, women taking the initiative or a person taking the stronger initiative is kind of necessary just because a difference of personality types. So do you feel like you're forcing it because you feel like he's not receptive or not appreciative, or just because it's your personality? And when you say that you're pissed, I'm pretty sure it is the former, but I just want to get clarity. So yeah, it's situations like that. Yes, it's a difference of personality. Okay. But yeah, there are a lot of situations that do arise when I talk to my clients. I get a lot of these conversation topics from my clients, by the way, y'all. When I talk to my clients, where I just hear that it's like, dang, like you're really with somebody who doesn't value you, and I don't really always know how to tell them. And I think that a lot of times we try to force relationships when we've been in them for a while and we don't want to let them go. We feel like we've already invested so much time and we're scared that, we were scared to start over. So I just want to like answer the question from my personal point of view based on my experience. I want to say that in any stage of your relationship, if you, especially like if you're not married, I'm not considering married folks here, just getting to know someone or considering marrying them, whatever. In any stage of your relationship, if you get to that point where you have to ask yourself, like, can I do this much longer? Is this like ever going to make me happy? Stuff like that, I think that you might be starting to force your relationship. Like when you start to ask yourself qualifying questions or disqualifying questions about whether or not the relationship is actually like something real. I'm not talking about asking yourself like, is this working or is this gonna work? Because if in your heart you want it to work and it's something that you actually desire and it once worked, and maybe you guys just hit you hit a rocky place in your relationship, that happens. But sometimes you already know you've been at that rocky place for a long time. You already know that even through the challenge, you guys have not prevailed. You guys haven't made any progress. And now you just don't want to let go because you're like, do I want to start over? But you're not happy, and you realize that no happiness is coming from this. I think you might be in a place where you're starting to force your relationship, and that's just like a dangerous place to be, because a lot of times I think that we start to require something from our spouse that is more than they were ever planning on giving. How do you know that? Clearly because they've never given it before, and or because they're resistant to giving it now. So let's play that out in a scenario. You've been with somebody for 6, 7 years. You guys got together when you were in college. You had so much in common, and you guys suited one another while you were in college because everything that you guys were going through was the same. Staying up all night, studying, having all the same challenges and stuff. And then, as you grow, you start to become different, and you may do things in the relationship that maybe are hard for one another to forgive. As you get to know one another, you start to realize you have a different idea for how you want your actual life to play out when it comes to kids, family, career, just lifestyle, work balance, and all this stuff. But everybody knows you guys as the couple together. At one point, you guys saw yourself getting married or whatever. Now you want completely different things. And because deep down, you guys both know you want completely different things, then you kind of like low-key stop investing in your relationship the same way that you did in the beginning. But you don't want to let it go even though all the signs are there. Like he's not calling you as much. He's not trying to initiate spending as much time with you. Even deep down, you kind of get a relief when you're not with him. And I don't know, like there's just sign after sign after sign. I think that you should consider it, because a lot of times we'll think like, oh, it's too late, but it's never too late. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never too late to be happy ever. You can be on your last dying breath and it'll be worth it'll be worth shooting for happiness. That's just my strong opinion. I'm gonna look at some of you guys' comments real quick, see if I can kind of respond to any of them. I'm more loving and caring. Twana, I find that that's really common with women, period. Hey, Ruby, how are you? I was in a relationship with someone who was bipolar and schizophrenic, and I ended up feeling like I was crazy and had a nervous breakdown. Woo, Ruthie, you just came with it out the gate early in the morning. That's wow. He has mommy abandonment issues, so it's hard to bond with him. Yes, I want it to work, but it's always good for a while, and then it starts to pull away. We met in our 40s. I'm 55, he's 56. Yes, I do get a relief when I'm not with him, but I'm happy when I'm with him. Okay, so Twana, I just want to say, based on what you're saying, it sounds like you definitely have a lot of resentment in your relationship right now because you're just not getting what you need from it, period. The sad thing about that is that if you guys are in your 50s and you guys been together for 13 years, my guess is that he's not going to change anytime soon. Although what I will say, let me take a sip of my tea because I've been waiting for it to cool down. Although what I will say, as I say to almost everybody when I'm talking to them about relationships, no matter how young or old, what I have found is that men are about consequence more than they're about action and consequence more than they are about talking. So anytime that a woman really, if you really want to get the attention of your man, do something about it. That would be my recommendation. I'm sure he loves you and he wants to be with you, but a lot of times we have two different ideas of what we want and what we consider a quality relationship. So you might need to check in with him on a serious level and just like find out, pick his brain and find out, does he think that this relationship is going well? Because you might be surprised to find that he thinks everything's all good. And maybe you nag at him and you say things to him, but maybe they're not penetrating him. And so if you do pick his brain or find out, so however you got to find out, I've done every approach. He doesn't like to communicate, right? So that's hard. So there's nothing that's really like forcing him to be in the relationship, right? So I don't know what you mean when you say he doesn't like to communicate. I don't know to what level that is. I don't know if like you ask him a question straight up like, hey, are you happy in this relationship? Is he just going to not say anything at all? Or is he just not going to express himself as extensively as you'd express yourself? Because women, a lot of times, we overly express ourselves. And not only do men, a lot of times, most men, not every man, but most men tend not to express themselves as extensively as women. But when we are super over the top, then they tend to really like pull back. And what I found in my own relationship is that when I make more room for him to be able to kind of like do his thing, then I get more out of him. But when I'm filling up the conversation, when I'm saying all this and you don't do this and you don't do that, and this is how I feel and so on and so forth, then it kind of like starts to shut him down. But I want you to somehow, figure out where his head is at in terms of what he thinks the reality of the relationship is first and foremost before you take an approach on it and action on it, because he might be in a space where he thinks everything's all good and he might just think you're nagging and that's just your personality and you don't really mean it. He might also be in a place where he's sick and tired of the relationship too, but I can pretty much assure you that he's not about to do anything about it. Men, especially at that age, I feel like a lot of times they just don't really want change. And so they rather just accept a mediocre relationship and even though they're not happy or they're not, stimulated or stimulating to you, than to change. And if it's something that's really, really bothering you, no matter what stage of relationship that you're in, ladies, I always recommend doing something about it to get his attention. Whether that means not coming home for a week and he's just got to accept it. Or whether that means just deciding, hey, I don't want this anymore. Or deciding, hey, if you don't open up and talk to me, if you don't take initiative to treat me better, then I am going to end this. And I know that, and I'm not talking about playing games. I'm talking about really deciding what it is that you can do that's action-based. Because if you don't do anything that's action-based, very likely you're not about to get his attention from saying the same thing you've been saying for the last 10 years. And that is something that I have lived and that I have seen other women in my life live, that I've recommended to women that they have acted on and have actually seen a difference in their relationship. I am in college. Okay, back to Ruthie. I'm in college, and we would play fight, and he would say, I have to lose my temper. I would make you lose your limb. Wait. And he would say, I will have to lose my temper. I would have to make you lose a limb, or you will wake up with a black eye. What the heck? Okay, Twan, I'm going to get back to you. But Ruthie, so why are you still with this person, Ruthie? Is he a danger? A lot of times we have to ask ourselves, what are we allowing? Because we definitely be forced in relationships, and it's not just because the other person is faulty, but a lot of times we're faulty too. And that's what I want to do on my channel, is like really like address these things and get women to a place where it's like we can really understand our own value. Our value is not determined by what that person denotes our value to be. Our value is really ultimately determined by God, who created us and gave us a purpose. And deep down in our spirits, all of us know, at least we have some sort of inclination as to what it is God wants for us. At some point in our lives, we discovered a meaning of our lives, right? We discovered, wow, God, you made me really good at this. You gave me a heart for this. You gave me vision for this thing right here. And I really, like, and we're super in tune with God, we know, like, I really want to do this. I want to live this out. I want to carry this out. I want to be this person. At my best, this is who I am. At my best, in my greatest scenario, I'm with someone who loves me like this. And I'm not talking about superficial things. I'm not talking about looks. I'm not talking about status, career, title, none of that. I'm talking about heart. I'm talking about mind, spirit, soul. At our best, what is it that God is calling us to live out, to be, to do? And is the relationship that you're in right now supporting of that? Is it conducive to that? Or is it drawing you more away from God, drawing you away from your purpose, away from your truth? Because if so, if you're not able to even get clear about what it is that you deserve and what it is that you want, then you're always going to accept something that's less than that. So a lot of times we are allowing ourselves to stay in relationships based on the comfort of that relationship, rather than really requiring of ourselves what we are asking of someone else, which is to be held to the highest standard, to give our very best. If we're not representing ourselves the best, expecting the best, requiring the best of ourselves, how can we require that of someone else in a relationship? It's never going to happen. I think that you need to really ask yourself, Ruthie, why you're in that relationship. If it's driving you crazy, if it's something that sounds like you might be with a narcissist who likes to blame, put everything on you, threaten you, maybe he possesses some sort of dominance, mental dominance over you, where you're scared to get out. Maybe there's one thing that's good about the relationship that you're like holding on to despite everything else that's bad. I cared about him and I spoke to God, and he ended breaking up with me, and I would call to tell him to pick up his stuff, and I'm getting ignored. He would say I'm immature, and I would feel worthless. I'm sorry about that, Ruthie. I am sorry. Try not to let yourself develop feelings based on what someone else does to you, because that's always going to be a dangerous place to start. Fargo Blessing. In a relationship last year, June, got pregnant and about to deliver till date. I've not received any money from him to this date. Just want to have my baby and move. Though he calls every day, but I don't want him anymore. Please advise me. Woo, child. Ruthie, he didn't have a job and was selling plasma for money, and I explained to him that was pathetic for a 35-year-old man, and it was drawing me away from God. Okay, Ruthie, listen, let me just put this out there to all you guys. It's really hard for me to consult on a relationship that I don't know through and through. There's always two sides to a story, three sides, four sides. So many layering, and so much layering and so much unpacking. So I want to say everything that I say with caution. I'm going to pose a lot more questions than I actually make statements or give advice, because I want you guys to really think through these things before concluding anything. Ruthie, the first thought I had when you said he didn't have a job and you told him he was pathetic for selling plasma as a 35-year-old man, I don't know this man. I don't know if he's a deadbeat. I don't know if he's trying. But it's not off top. It's not pathetic to me to be 35 and selling plasma, because you never know what situation somebody might be in. The fact that they're getting up and trying at all could be a good thing. But maybe he's wasting his life away and he's not really trying because he doesn't have a job, right? I can tell you that anytime that we fix our mouths to criticize a man like that, we can pretty much be sure that we are not doing the best thing that we could be doing in that situation. The best thing that you could do, rather than nagging a man, rather than criticizing him and putting him down, which are all things he's storing in his brain, those things are emasculating to a man. To have the woman who's in his life not look up to him. Like, if everybody else in the world thought he was pathetic, it would be one thing. But for the woman who is his woman to call him pathetic, that is never going to be building of his self-esteem. That is never going to get him to be better. That is just going to make him feel shame, worthlessness, and he's going to do a couple of things with that information. He's either going to throw it back on you and try to find a way to tear you down, and it's just going to be this really negative situation that you guys have going on, this dynamic that is just not healthy, not aiding either one of you in getting better. Or he's going to draw away, draw into himself, and determine that you just don't understand him, you don't support him, you don't love him. And again, he's very likely not going to take action on the relationship status, because I just feel like a lot of times men don't like change. People don't like change. So rather than him taking those things as indications that this relationship isn't for him, he's probably just going to draw away. And what it sounds like is you got a man that is drawing away. And the more you nag him, talk about him, talk down to him, ain't none of that gonna help. I know it might seem crazy, but if you love this man, who am I talking to? Ruthie? If you love this man, and if something is wrong with him, I think the best thing that you could do is pray for him. Build him up, speak up to him, find positive things to say about him, find ways for him to see himself as not crazy, for him to see himself as you know, capable of being better than what he once was. And recommend that he sees somebody, that he gets some sort of help, not because he's crazy, but maybe just because we all need help sometimes, and maybe there are things that he has expressed that he wants, that he's trying to do better, and you just aren't the one that's going to be able to help him. Either way, being a positive reinforcer in his life is going to always pan out better than tearing him down with words, especially if you see that tearing him down with words isn't working. Every once in a while I find out about somebody who that works on, but usually that doesn't work. So anything that's drawing you away from God, check that at the door, for real. And always keep in mind, you do not have to stay in this relationship, okay? You do not have to stay in this relationship. In every situation, you don't have to stay in this relationship. Fargo, to respond to yours when you say, please advise, I don't know that situation through and through. But I will say this. Any man who wants to be in the life of their child, I think they deserve to be in the life of their child. However it is, you got to work that out, figure it out. That's just my strong opinion, with the exception of if they are an actual danger to their child. If they're just uncomfortable to you, displeasing for you to be around, that doesn't qualify. You guys decided to lay up and have a kid together, so y'all gonna have to figure that out. That's just my personal opinion. You ain't got to be with the man. You don't have to be with the man. But unless he is posing a danger to his child, I think that he deserves to be in his child's life. A lot of times as women, we think we know what's best, and we want to know what's best for our child. And I think innately, a lot of us do. I'm not saying that maybe you know that he's a piece of crap and he ain't going to be a good influence in your child's life. But again, I really believe that your child is going to resent you if you push their father away. That's just my strong opinion. Should you be with him? You decide that. Y'all ain't got to be with nobody that y'all ain't got to be. Listen, listen, I've seen so many relationships unfold before my eyes, and it's insane when I see how many people like really struggle to stay in relationships that are just dead end relationships. When I got with my husband, I never once, not one time in our life, well, I would lie. I would say there was one short period of time where I really thought, I don't think this is it. And at that point in my relationship, I actually drew away. I said I wanted a break so I could clear my head, get my thoughts together. And I had a strong encounter with God, and I went through some serious experiences that taught me a lot, that really led me back to my man and gave me assurance that he was the one for me. But no other time in my relationship did I regularly wrestle with the thoughts. Is this the one? Am I in the right type? Am I in the right relationship? Is this going to work? I wrestled with thoughts. How are we going to make this work? Because of X, Y, and Z. But that was a question that was within the space of me knowing that I wanted it to work. But yeah, if you're like regularly wrestling with these types of thoughts, I think that you need to give that strong consideration as indication that this just may not be the relationship for you, and that's okay. We need to start getting more comfortable with the fact that relationships take work no matter what stage of the relationship that you're in. If you're working this hard to try to keep the person, you might do better working this hard in the beginning of a new and better qualified relationship for you, rather than in a relationship that is just like not going anywhere. You're never going to be able to force a man to do anything, force any other person to do anything. They have to choose, and you'll do better getting that person to make a decision by actually taking action rather than just nagging. That is my strong opinion. Good morning, Brandy. Welcome. I agree. If you don't want him to talk, if you don't want him, don't talk down to him. But if you love him and want to be with him, uplift your man and vice versa. Absolutely, man. It works. I keep saying that I'm leaving, but haven't left yet. And that's exactly why, Twana, see, I'm not surprised in your relationship that you said that. We are not even together now. Okay, cool. Twana, I'm not surprised that you say that, because based on everything else you explained, it sounds like you would be in that situation. You're going to keep on getting what you get. Keep doing the same thing. You're going to keep getting the same results. You want something different, you got to do something different. A lot of times we don't want to leave because we're like, but I love this person. I don't want to give up on this person. And I know that they can change and we can be better. But that is fantasy land. You can love that person, but you don't have to be with them. And I know that you might think that that's where you're going to be the happiest. But so far, where has that gotten you? If you're not willing to take action, men are about action, y'all. Men are about action. I'm not saying to play games, but you may have to actually leave that nigga. And listen, if you leave, that don't mean you can't come back. But you'll be surprised how much you will do for your relationship by actually sticking to what you say. When a man knows that you're not a person of your word, a woman of your word, he don't have no reason to really respect you. He doesn't have any reason to really worry when you threaten him. He's going to really worry when you actually walk out that door. And I know it's sad to say, because you're putting yourself in a position to potentially walk away from something that you want, but that's the risk that you got to take. You got to be willing to walk away from something good so you can grab onto something great. And all of this becomes easier when you really understand your worth. And ain't nobody else going to help you to understand your worth better than God. So honestly, best thing that I'd recommend you do, Twana, get back in church, start getting connected to God again, consult with God about everything that you're doing, and let that be the foundation of your decision making, not what this man is doing and what the relationship is, because that's obviously not working. So I'm gonna move on to someone else. Forgo, you said you're not even together now. So basically your main dilemma: in a relationship last year, June, got pregnant, about to deliver, till date you haven't received any money. So you just want your baby, and Though he calls every day, you don't want him anymore. Okay. So he wants to be a part of the baby's life, but he's not willing to put in on it. Okay, so then you just got to take his ass to court. It's as simple as that. You ain't got to be with him, but I do recommend allowing him to have a relationship with his child. The fact that you ain't with him, it don't matter how you speak to him. I would let him know. I would let him know. You ain't nothing. You know, not you ain't nothing, but like you ain't gave me nothing. And I'm letting you know that I'm taking you to court. Period. Serious, simple as that. When we have this baby, you are paying child support. And if not, then handle everything through the court. Unfortunately, tell him, I will handle everything through the court if I have to. But you're not about to get the privilege of being able to have this child whenever you want and everything and not put in on it. Like, you're going to have to take him to court. You're going to have to figure something out. But I strongly recommend allowing him to have a relationship with his child. Ruthie, I understand what you're saying, and I respect your standpoint, and I tried to help him get a job, and he said no. I'm always attracting mental ill, and I brought this to God and started to put it in the hands of God. Ruthie, I'm so sorry to hear about your relationship. I just want you to know that I feel for you. It's dangerous to be with somebody who's psychotic, so it's good that you're praying about it. Can't force him to do nothing. If he said no, if that ain't the clearest response, you said you were trying to help him get a job. He said no. Listen, in relationships, we are not supposed to be carrying one another. We're supposed to be helping to give one another support, y'all. When you start getting to a point where you feel like you are carrying someone, listen, God says that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. That means that you will have weight on your shoulders. There will be something, there will be a burden, there will be something that you have to withstand, but it should not be that heavy. Thanks for saying you put it in God's hands. Leave it there. If God tells you to do something, do it. I don't think that you probably need to be in this relationship, Ruthie, but that's just my opinion based on the information I have. I might need security. What's up? Yes, this is absolutely true. Tawana says true. Thank you. Brandy, my problem is that I'm with a man that doesn't want to commit, and I'm fully aware. I keep telling myself I keep keeping my options open. Rolling your eyes. That never works because anytime a man shows me interest, I blow him off. What's wrong with me? Oh, Brandy, I'm sorry to hear that. You're with a man that doesn't want to commit. So then you commit. Commit to not being committed to him. Commit to it. Ain't nothing gonna change until you change, period. Commit to not being committed to him. He ain't gonna like that. I'm not talking about playing games. I'm talking about actual change. If we do not take action on our situation in our relationships, y'all, ain't nothing gonna change. These men are not about to change. If they ain't changed based on all the threats you done made up to this point, trust me, you don't have to take a scientific, creative, different approach. You ain't got to talk to your homegirl. Maybe I'll say it this way. Maybe I'll do it this way. Commit, commit, commit. Commit to not being committed to him. That means next time a man shows you interest, go out of your way to show him interest. Like if it's somebody who you're actually interested in. Like, commit to not being committed to him. Everything that a commitment entails, don't do that. He doesn't deserve the late night phone calls, the random store runs to make sure he got something to eat. He doesn't deserve you catering to him, you kissing his ass, you doing all of the things that you would do in a committed relationship. If he is not committed, then you should not be committed. You're selling yourself short if you are, and there's nothing I can do for you at that point. Y'all, there is somebody out there that is for you, that will love you, that will cherish you, but you will not get to that person until you love and cherish yourself. You keep on attracting crazy people, there's something about you that is attracting that person. I'm telling you, you keep on attracting deadbeat men. If you keep on attracting men that don't want to commit, if you feel like you're constantly attracting and having to force your relationship to work, there's something in you that is doing that. You got to deal with yourself. Dealing with yourself involves praying, listening to what God tells you to do, actually doing it, doing the things that deep down in your heart you've always known you should do, loving yourself better, making time to take care of yourself if the person you're with ain't taking care of you, making time to actually tend to your own needs. Like, If we are not loving ourselves somewhat, I'm not even gonna say at our best, but somewhat really truly committing to loving ourselves, we can't expect somebody else. The man is going to see in you and see on you what you require. You know, there are so many people that don't even approach me because when I walk when I come into their presence, they already know that I know my worth, that I'm not about that BS, that I'm not listening to none of that, that ain't nobody got time for that. They know that they can see it on me. I emit an aura about myself that lets people know I'm not to be played with. There are so many men that wouldn't even dare open their mouths because they know, they can see it in the way that I walk. They can definitely tell in the way that I talk when I have a conversation with them. They can tell by my actions with how little bit of time that I give they BS. Now, granted, I'm married, but everybody that I come around doesn't always know that off top. Men are going to do to you what you allow them to do. They're going to give you what you require and nothing less. And nothing more. Okay? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. My baby's still asleep, which is why I'm still on. Fargo says, thank you so much. But I hope you guys do something with this information. You know, y'all need to really pray about this. Brandy, I like that. Commit to not being committed to him. Beautiful. Telling you. Y'all be having me on tangents. What are y'all doing? Are y'all drinking some tea this morning with me? What are y'all doing? Are y'all stay-at-home moms? Y'all on your way to work? Y'all at work? I'm going to try to do better. No, Twana, don't try to do better. Do better. You're so deep in this relationship. You don't have time. You don't have time. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. No. I didn't mean to do that. You don't have time to try, Twana. Just do better. You don't have time. You've already been at this for long enough. That should be your goal this year, that you find the confidence in yourself, that you find the strength in yourself, that you find the wisdom, that you ask God, you seek God. When God shows you to do something, that you do it. I take care of my mom with dementia. Ooh, girl, I'm sorry to hear that about your mom. Man, that's crazy, man. People be really accepting stuff in relationships they don't want. I know it's harder when you're older, too. It's easier to take risks when you're younger, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. Listen, God will deal with you up until the day that you leave this place. He's preparing a place that is better for you when you believe in him, when you give your life to him. You know this to be true, but while you're here on this earth, you're going to get whatever it is you want. You're going to get whatever seed. You're going to get the harvest from whatever seeds you plant. God ain't going to force nothing on you, good or bad. If you don't stand for what you believe in and stand up for yourself with regards to these relationships, you're going to keep on getting mediocrity out of these relationships. I promise you, until the day that you die, you will be in an underserved relationship, or what am I trying to say? You will be in a relationship that is undersatisfying. To the day you die if you don't initiate change, period. Ruthie, I am not going back. I'm changing number, and I'm not going backwards. I'm beautiful and an inspiring engineering. I am. Did you say inspiring engineering? I am tired of carrying people. I am not perfect. I realize that I am little abusive and aggressive, and I will work on that, and I know that relationship happens for a reason. Yes, Twana, you have to do it. Have you ever seen the movie called The Secret? Yes, I have, Brandy. Twana, my confidence is off because of weight gain. I feel broken. Good job, Ruthie. Listen, y'all. We done talked for a whole long time. I gotta go. It's been 40 minutes. It was supposed to be 20. It's a good conversation. I hope that you guys have been able to get something from it. It's about asking God and the universe for what you want. That's what I'm trying to walk into this year. Yes, Brandy, ask God what you want. Ask God for what you want. Be intentional about what you want. What you put out into the universe is typically what you get back, period. Ruby, you are giving us gems. Thank you so much. I might need security. You're very welcome. Thank you guys for joining me on today's Tea Talk Live. Please join me again next week, Tea Talk Live at 6:45. My goal is to have these things be a lot shorter, but we had some good conversation today. Make sure you know, tune in. I just dropped a video on my channel. Please go check it out and leave a comment. It's about 20 challenges in 2020. I gave myself 20 challenges that are all in line with some things that I really want to see happen in my life, and I'm taking action on those things, challenging myself to grow and to be better in these categories, not requiring that I'm perfect, but setting challenges up in line with some things that I really want to see unfold in my life. I recommend you guys do the same. So go watch that video. I'm still getting over my cold. Sorry about this congestion. Go watch that video, comment, tell me some challenges that you guys are going to give yourself this year. If you don't set up actual measurable goals, challenges, whatever it is, you ain't going to have a benchmark for what you want to see. You know, you're not going to have anything to aim for. And very likely you're going to end up in the same situation at the beginning of next year as you are today. It's not too late to get started. It's not too late to challenge yourself to grow and to be better. So please go check out that video. Tell me some challenges you guys have in mind for yourself. And tune in Sunday because I'm dropping a new video that I think you guys are going to love. Comment, or you're already subscribed. Turn on your post notifications so you can be aware of when I go live, 6:45 every week. I will be back next week, and please stay tuned with my videos. Share them with your friends because I am heading in a new direction, and I want to be able to reach the people who want to see the type of videos that I am releasing. So please do that, you guys. I really appreciate it. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Have a great day. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. I will feel better, and I will be better next week, and I will talk to you then. Remember to be you, love you, make it beautiful. Go and take action, and stop forcing a relationship. Force yourself. Force yourself to love yourself more, to be better, to do better. All right.